Faye Baliaga, 17 years old, currently on grade 11 ABM student.
Hi, I'm Kim Charlene Tabayan and I'm 17 years old from STEM 11 LA.
My name is Sherman Olimdes. I am 18 years old, currently a freshman enrolled in the Computer Science department.
I'm Sean Nathaniel B. Di Paula from Bachelor of Arts in Communication and I'm 19 years old.
Hi, I'm Nicolas Milio. I'm 27 years old. I graduated as Bachelor of Science in Tourism Management in the Philippines, and now I'm taking Certificate 4 in Kitchen Management and Advanced Diploma for Hospitality Management in South Australia.
So I am Maria May Evangeline and Natanawan. As you know, you can call me Ma'am May or Ma'am Natanawan. I am a senior high school teacher at Tanawan City Integrated High School. Teacher 3 is the position. Age, I am 39 years old. Married with 2 kids.
Can you tell me something that you've accomplished in your studies that make you happy?
Actually, when I was in preschool and even early years of my elementary, I wasn't that always consistent honor student. I was just an average kid. But when I turned I think it's 13 years old, and when I switched to high school, I found myself trying my best and comparing myself to my older brother who achieved more that time, and I graduated valedictorian in elementary school, and I also I'm a full scholar of Pasay City, and now I'm a Sarasat scholar in Faith Colleges.
I don't think I've accomplished anything that's worth mentioning, but if I have to pick my favorite achievement, I think it has to be Best Presenter in Research way back in December 2022. It was my favorite because it was really unexpected, plus there was also quite a huge cash prize for it.
Lately po, I've accomplished my exams, basic and Gen Bio, which is I pay a lot of efforts and natapos po and nakita ko po yung mga efforts.
One of the things that I've done that makes me happy is when I am able to finish our research paper during the semester.
Okay. So, yun nga, I would consider myself academically gifted. Pero, siguro others would consider me academically gifted just because I graduated from UP. And I've said nga, it's a curse and a blessing. What I learned in UP is not just academics. Kasi nga, you are left on your own. Imagine, ikaw lang talaga doon. And I will always be thankful. It will always be an integral part of me. I am thankful that once sa buhay ko, sinuhay ko yung nanay at tatay ko. At pinaglaban ko doon ako mag-aral. Kasi yung natutunan ko doon is not just academics, but diskarte sa buhay.
Having high grades, winning competitions, and receiving awards are something that gives me a sense of pride, happiness, and fulfillment.
What learning strategies work best for you? How or why?
Learning strategies. Unironically, I think cramming and procrastinating has been really effective, or rather, really efficient for me. Because, for example, I think there's this thing called law of diminishing returns, whereas if you spend 2 hours working on your project versus 4 hours for it, it doesn't necessarily double your grade. Like spending 30 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours, 4 hours reviewing for an exam, the increase in the score you get isn't really an arithmetic sequence. And also, I think it's human nature that our brain works the fastest just before the deadline. And that's why I think cramming and procrastinating has been really efficient for me. I get to do a lot of things, plus in the time that I saved by cramming or procrastinating, I keep repeating those words, I get to do other things that I like playing sports, video games, going out, etc., etc.
For me, the best strategy that works for me all the time is that I always love reading the PowerPoint presentations while doing something with my hands, scribbling something or drawing. As long as I'm reading the text and I'm moving my hand, I always tend to remember those information.
The learning strategy that worked for me, sandwich method po, which is aral, tulog, aral. And rin po yun, nakakapagbigay rin po ng rest sa akin academic.
Some of it is taking down notes and using flashcard since while studying a research paper, it allow me or help me to memorize the important details.
Strategies works best for me in studying is taking down notes, group study with my friends or classmates, and doing spaced repetition so that the information retains on my mind. What else? Also time management and active recalling of the lessons.
So, my strategy when I was in college, doon ko naramdaman yung pressure. Kailangan gagawin ko lahat. Kung pwedeng hindi matulog, hindi ako matutulog. Kung pwedeng hindi kumain para magkasya yung 1,000 na baon ko for 1 week, gagawin ko. Kung kinakailangan bumabol ako sa professor ko, magmakaawa ako sa professor ko, everything. I will do everything. Just to prove, not actually to myself, but to my parents na tama ang decision ko. That was my strategy in college.
Okay, so what are the learning strategies you have tried that did not work for you and why? One of the learning strategies that I tried but it doesn't work is watching instructional video since I end up closing the tab and look for some other videos.
Yung pag-aaral ko ng buong gabi. Kasi wala rin pong rest, then naantok din po pagka kinaumagahan, which is exam or something na quiz. And then po, nawawala rin po yung pag-aaral ko sa isip.
Strategies that did not work for me. I think it's the thing called Pomodoro technique. If you don't know what it is, it's basically a strategy where you have a work and rest time at regular intervals. For example, you have 25 minutes work, then 5 minutes rest, 25 minutes work, 5 minutes rest, and it's a cycle. And once you've done enough repetitions, you reward yourself with a much more lengthy break. I think the reason that it did not work for me is because I'm more of a spontaneous burst of energy kind of person than a disciplined one where he can turn his mind on and off, on and off, on and off. So I can't really do that. I hate getting interrupted when I'm doing something, and I think that's why the Pomodoro technique doesn't really work for me.
Actually, when I was in grade 7 and grade 8, I tried using the flashcard methods. I also used Genki, but it's not really working for me, and I don't remember quite the gist of the whole lesson, and there are times when I keep on mental blocking.
Strategies that didn't work for me, maybe cramming. Because, sometimes when we do have quiz, like, I study last minute and then we will have a quiz. So, like, I read very fast, but nothing's going in my mind and I cannot answer the questions that needs to be answered in that quiz.
There are times that even if I know I can, or even if I know that I have to push, hindi ko ginawa because of fear of failing. Not for myself, but failing the expectations of others.
What are the pros and cons of being academically gifted?
Firstly po, yung mga pros po ng being academically gifted is marami pong opportunities na naghihintay sa inyo na on outside na maraming kukuha sa inyo kasi you are academically gifted and you can do anything. Then yung mga cons po is yung pressure na binibigay sa'yo everywhere. Lahat ng person and yung expectation ng family mo sa'yo and yung expectation ng mga teachers and also your leaders.
Pros of being academically gifted is you're able to learn new things easily, and on the other hand, the cons of being an academic gifted is you can feel the pressure because of some failure that you're going to experience.
Academically gifted. I don't really consider myself to be academically gifted. I think I'm academically average. But since the question imposes that I am, then I suppose I should answer in the perspective of one. So the pros are obvious, right? You get good grades, you have more time for yourself, and possibly you're less stressed. As for the cons, so that's a much more interesting question. I've always read that academically gifted students often fail to find success in the real life. There's even a book written about this. I think it was by Robert Kiyosaki. It was titled as Why A Students Work for C Students or something like that. And one of the reasons listed there is that A students have honed their skills specifically and purely for academic purposes, whereas C students have a more practical set of skills to be used in the real world. And I think those are the possible pros and cons.
For pros, of course, it's a nice foundation to be academically gifted, especially that the fact that each one of us as students is we only have grades. We only have grades to present, but when we ask, for example, when we apply for a certain university or we apply for certain scholarships, they always tend to focus on our grades and our average. So I think that's an advantage for me or for people like me. But for the cons is there's always that expectations that you have to do better than others. You have to reach a certain level, and if you didn't, then they will look at you differently.
Pros and cons of academically gifted. First, we go to pros. You're a quick learner. Second, academic achievements. Because of your intellectual activities, you were given some achievements of having a high grades, you win academic competitions, and receive recognitions. What else? Also, I guess one of the pros is that people look up to you because you do better in studying. Like, you're the one who inspires them in studying because you're one of the top students. Cons for me is that boredom. I easily get bored, or you just easily get bored when studying. Second, underachievement, because you don't achieve the grade that you want to. And I guess the third one is that it was like a peer pressure. Because when people expect too much from you, you easily get drained.
If others would consider me academically good just because I graduated from UP, yung either way, may masasabi at masasabi sa'yo. And I think hindi lang naman din yun sa akin. Halimbawa, I graduated senior high, ikaw ay with honors, tapos, bakit bumabagsak ka ngayon? So yun yung pros and cons. Pro because definitely ang tingin ng tao sa'yo, mataas. Pero con because dahil nga ganun kataas ang tingin sa'yo, sometimes it is taken against you. Na hindi rin maganda. And ang taong mga academically gifted, lagi ko tong sinasabi, di ba din, nung estudyante kita, hindi lang mahalaga na ikaw ay academically good. And meron tayo sa psychology, di ba? Pag sinabing ikaw ay academically good, minsan emotionally, di ka ganun kagaling. Kaya, lagi kong sinasabi sa mga estudyante ko, grades don't define you. Grades don't define you, although grades will open and close doors for you.
What advice would you give to students who you would encourage to be academically excellent?
Lagi ko rin sinasabi sa mga estudyante ko, kailangan yung magsumikap. Kung kaya nyo naman na pataasin ang grades nyo na maging academically excellent, why not? Diba? Pero, lagi ko rin sinasabi nga na hindi lang grades ang magde-define sa inyo. Huwag mong i-pressure ang sarili mo just for the grades. Okay? I-pressure mo ang sarili mo kasi gusto mong matuto at gusto mong, meron kang goal. So, ang magpapayo ko sa mga estudyante ngayon, huwag yung masyadong independe ang katalinuhan nyo dun lang sa grades. Kasi, although grades is one aspect para ma-measure ang intelligence mo. We all know in psychology that it's not. There are different intelligences. Diba? Pwede hindi ka academically that good, tapos yung panukat pa ngayon ng katalinuhan ay hindi naman holistic. Diba? Pero in other aspects, other intelligences, matalino ka. Matutunan nyo to know yourself better. This is your subject. Understand yourself. Know yourself. Know your worth.
Study hard, but don't pressure too much. One step at a time lang. Kasi hindi parang isang click. Gusto mo, andyan na lahat. Na, andito ka lang sa age na to. Gusto mo makuha mo na agad yun. No, one step at a time. Also, you guys were students. And also, I'm a student now. For me, yung important thing is you choose your friends wisely. They can influence you to do better, like in the best way possible, to achieve your goals. Because, for example, me and Johnny Kaya, we're friends, but the friendship we have is that yung friendship kasi namin, mas gusto namin, aangat ako, aangat ka din, parang ganon.
Just enjoy things that you're currently working on and always work on your time management between academic and social life.
My advice would be don't pressure yourself too much. You can do anything, but it doesn't mean that you will do anything. Kaya mo ang lahat, pero hindi mo responsibility na gawin ang lahat. And take rest din po sa academics because you have also a personal life.
Actually, if you want to do well in school, don't be pressured by the opinions of others. Always try to go with the flow, and while going with the flow, always give your best. But don't think that when you're giving the best, it's the maximum. Always think that there's always an improvement, and keep striving for your better version.
Rest. I think people underestimate the power of a good rest, the power of a beauty sleep, and they over-glorify the workaholic mentality where you don't sleep, you stay up all night studying, reviewing, doing activities, or, just for the exam, just for your school. Kunyari, walang oras ka nagtatrabaho para sa isang project. Di syempre, pwedeng pagod na yung utak mo nun, stress ka na, nanggigigil ka na, very frustrated ka na. So, I think, syempre, mas mahirapan ka mag-isip nun. And I think if magpapahinga ka, if magre-rest ka, that would be a better option. Kasi, di ba minsan naman talaga, pwedeng habang nagre-rest ka, dun mo pa nga malaman yung sagot eh. Kasi nangyari din naman talaga ito in real life. I think it was Archimedes, di ba? Yung famous story na nasa bathtub siya, naliligo siya, then dun na na-discover yung formula or yung para sa buoyancy which solved his problem. So I think that happens naman to everyone, and that's his eureka moment. Whenever we find ourselves stuck on a problem, on a question, on a challenge, I think we should try to, take a rest, mag-night walks, kain, ligo, tulog, etc., etc.
In summary, academic giftedness is a multifaceted construct that encompasses exceptional intellectual ability, passion for learning, creativity, and critical thinking skills. While standardized testing can provide one measure of giftedness, it's essential to consider a range of factors and to adopt a holistic approach to identification and support. By recognizing and nurturing the talents of academically gifted students, we can help them reach their full potential and make meaningful contributions to society. However, it is important to recognize that academic giftedness is not solely determined by innate ability or test scores. Environmental factors such as access to quality education, supportive family environments, and opportunities for enrichment and acceleration play a crucial role in nurturing and developing gifted potential.